So, what really makes a champion? Is it just pure, raw talent? Is it having an iron will? Or is it something else entirely? Today, we're going to break down the anatomy of a true tennis great, Simona Halep, to figure out what key ingredients propelled her right to the very top of the sport. We'll get into her incredible skills, that unbreakable mindset, and the legacy she's building even now.
And really, this is the central question, isn't it? When we look back at a career, is greatness just about the number of trophies on the shelf? Or does it go deeper, into a player's character, their grit, their impact on the world? By taking a close look at Simona Halep's entire journey, we're going to try and piece together a real answer.
All right, so to understand what made Halep so special, you have to start with her on-court weapons. Her game wasn't about hitting huge, overpowering serves. Oh no. It was all about a relentless, super strategic style of play that could just completely wear down even the most aggressive players out there. So let's dive in and look at her toolkit.
Now, what made Halep just so dangerous was how all these skills worked together. I mean, her speed was just exceptional. It let her cover every inch of the court, turning what should have been a defensive scramble into a full-blown offensive attack. An opponent would blast what they thought was a clean winner, and somehow Halep would not only get to it, but she'd send it back with interest, flipping the whole point on its head. That defense, man, that was the engine for everything she did.
So, a baseline game. Think of it as a battle of wills, fought from the very back of the court. It's all about who can stay focused, who can hit one more ball in during these long, grueling rallies. And Halep, she didn't just master this style, she turned it into a weapon. She'd drag her opponents into these marathon tests of endurance, just patiently building points, waiting for that one tiny error from a player who is just physically and mentally exhausted.
But look, having a great set of skills is only half the battle. The real test for any great player is what they do on the biggest stages. So let's take a look at how Halep's unique game translated into winning those massive championships.
Winning even one title on the Pro Tour is incredibly hard, but winning over 20 of them, that just speaks to an amazing level of consistency. This wasn't a player who just had a good season or two. For more than a decade, she was a constant threat, a perennial contender at pretty much every tournament she played.
Of course, the ultimate prize in tennis is a Grand Slam. In 2018, Halep finally achieved her lifelong dream, winning the French Open on the slow clay courts of Roland Garros, a surface that was just perfectly made for her game. But then, to prove she was no one-trick pony, she did something incredible a year later. She won Wimbledon, on fast, slick grass courts. That victory showed everyone just how adaptable she was, and it really cemented her status as one of the most complete players of her time.
And when you put all that success together, it leads to one place, the absolute pinnacle of the sport, the world #1 ranking. For 64 weeks, Simona Halep was, statistically, the best female tennis player on the planet. Just reaching that spot for 1 week is the dream. Holding it on different occasions like Halep did, that's the mark of true greatness.
Okay, but as any tennis fan knows, the game is played just as much in your head as it is with a racket. You could have all the physical talent in the world, but if you don't have that mental toughness, you're never going to make it to the top. So let's get into the psychology of Simona Halep and what made her so incredibly tough. This right here tells you so much about her. She earned the nickname the comeback queen for a reason. She had this uncanny ability to turn matches around. For most players, losing that first set is a huge psychological blow, and it's really hard to recover. But for Halep, it often seemed to just sharpen her focus, like it woke up this fighting spirit inside her and unlocked her absolute best tennis. That ability to not just survive under pressure, but to thrive, that's a rare and powerful weapon.
And that champion's mindset, it wasn't just for match time. Halep was so well respected for her professionalism and her grace, whether she won or lost. She was known for being respectful to her opponents, to the officials, to the media, no matter what the outcome of the match was. That level of sportsmanship is a huge part of her legacy, and it's why she's so loved by fans and her fellow players. But a champion's influence, it doesn't just stop at the edge of the court. Their story, their journey, their actions, they can inspire millions. So let's zoom out and look at the broader impact of Simona Halep's career and the legacy she's created. Her path to becoming a global icon is just this powerful story of pure dedication. It all started when she was just 4 years old, with a big dream and the incredible support of her family. That foundation shot her all the way to the top of the tennis world. But what's really amazing is what she did when she got there. She never forgot where she came from. She started a foundation to help the next generation of athletes in Romania, making sure her success opens doors for others. That commitment is such a crucial part of who she is.
And that brings us right back to our big question from the beginning. After looking at her career, it's pretty clear that Simona Halep's greatness isn't just about the number of Grand Slams or weeks at number one. It's in the resilience she showed, the class she carried herself with, and the inspiration she gives to so many people. So what is the true measure of a champion? Maybe it's not just about what they win, but about who they are and the legacy they leave behind.